All right, it seems that we've got a good set of sound again. Blessed be the camera agrees with us this time. All right, so where were we? Time check. Probably 20, 25 minutes left on the stream then. Part 2, with better sound, I hope. Also, is that the Gravity Falls song intro you're normally humming? Yes, that is a little community in-joke. You know, SCP fans and Gravity Fall fans are very similar in their mystery solving and lore checking and character interactions. So, yes, it's also a personal favorite of mine. It's just a great show. Great show. What's your favorite SCP? Well, Silent Reaper, I say my favorite SCP at the end of every stream. It's kind of a tradition around these parts, so if you want to know real bad, you can cheat and go back to yesterday's stream, at which point I say it at the end of the episode. Otherwise, you can wait about 20, 25 minutes and we'll do it here. Dr. Sherman, I just got no-clipped to the Backrooms. Well, some mixed dude, that means you're going to have to call out to Async, because they are really strict about not letting us investigate the Backrooms. We can sneak some agents in time to time, but really, they are bogarting the whole anomaly. It's very selfish, but we got to deal with what we got to deal with. It's a turf war, you know how it is. Dr. Sherman, what would your superhero name be? Would it be Sherman? Well, intern Nikki, I think instead it would probably be, you ask me if I'm sure, and I say, yes, it's in the name. I'm sure, man. And with that, I would probably have some sort of probability manipulation ability where if I'm sure I can do something, then I can, kind of like Warhammer orcs or other anomalous entities that can, as long as they believe in themselves, they have the power to do it. And so, yes, I'm sure, man. Wait, aren't you that SCP guy? I think so. At least I'm pretty sure. Where does the SCP Foundation get their supplies without breaking their cover? Well, Dr. Medicine, you're dealing with a secret organization that deals with all sorts of logistics. We're a very large organization, privately funded. Remember, we're a non-governmental organization. And so, obviously, we can order things from companies and not use our real name. We can use front companies to purchase supplies and then transfer them into proper Foundation custody afterwards. So front companies, agents inside certain corporations where they handle the orders for us under the table. There's a lot of ways to get supplies if you have the means to do so. If SCP-096 was in the middle of nowhere and you looked at a photo of him, well, first of all, SCP-096 is an anomalous entity. It is not a person. Anomalous entities are objects, not people. So SCP-096 is an it, not a he. Please practice proper pronoun, parlance, protocols at the Foundation. Would 096 hunt them? Who... Well, if I looked at a photo of it, then it would hunt me, which I would not do because I am cleverer than that. But yes, this is one of those have you read the document things, because the document lays out the rules of 096 very clearly. You go on the SCP Wiki, SCP-096 document. It doesn't matter where you are. If you look at a picture of it, it will sense it, it will sense where you are, and it will make a beeline straight for you, ignoring all obstacles in the way. Really devastatingly shy. It's very bad for its self-esteem. Ghoster VR and Pause It. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Sheeny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some cake on your way past the commissary. Happy belated birthday. Would have been there, but I was busy trying to close a no-clip area about a mile long. That is a very complex task, and I hope you succeeded. Otherwise, we would have a lot more of these people falling in the back rooms to deal with. So, thank you very much for the birthday wishes, and I hope you enjoyed the stream and the chaos that ensued with the SCP gang the other night. Little man, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some flapjacks on your way past the commissary. Love the hair, it suits you. Well, much obliged. Appreciate it. It's faded interestingly. It's got this kind of, it was much more vibrant when we first got it done, but I think it's faded in a very interesting way. I think it's a good coloration. Is there a moth SCP? Well, Miko, you're today's lucky contestant in Have You Searched the Wiki? If I go to the SCP database, at the top of each page, in the top right corner, there is a search function. And when you click on that search, you can type in the search word, in this case, moth. And I am gifted so many we have Radiant Gold's Golden Moth Museum. We have a personnel file, Molly Moth Irvine. A Moth Squad Guide. SCP-2598, The Traveling Moth Salesman. SCP-7597, Moth of All Trades, Master of None. SCP-5758, The Moth Tide. That's just a couple of moth anomalies right out the gate. So remember, you can search for these things. You're welcome for Googling that for you. Cursed Traveler, thank you for your member message. Tide Pod looking hair. Excuse me, there's no orange in there. I'm not thinking with portals. Get out of here with that. Dr. Sherman, I think you are an SCP, not human. Atlantine. This is a legitimately insane statement that you just put out there. Me, an SCP? It's very easy to find out. Go on the SCP database, search me up. Am I there? As an SCP document? Obviously not, because I am obviously not an SCP. I am just an average run-of-the-mill human being with an average run-of-the-mill pen. I am an average human site director of Site 42. No anomalous properties here or in my pen. Just your average human dude. That's all. That's all. Not an SCP, not an anomaly. Coolest. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some radiator fluid on your way past the commissary. Could you contain V1 from Ultrakill, and how? V1 from Ultrakill is a robot of some kind. I mean, it's a game character, so we know it can die, which means we know it's stoppable. But it has, you know, aliases, occupation, description. abilities. It can dash. It can slide. It can ground slam. Punching enemies. Hook shot like Legend of Zelda. Can absorb blood from enemies by soaking it through their armor. Delicious. Everyone loves that, he said, sarcastically. And so it is a warrior robot. And so first of all, EMPs. Second of all, turn off the power. Third of all, lock it in a box. Just like any other entity, if you Hannibal it, it can't build up momentum to break out. Depending on its strength, we just have to find the right metal to lock it down. But if I were going to do... This is such a popular entity, I might have to add it to the list of the full episodes of X is not an SCP as we renew that series. Because apparently, I've never heard of Ultrakill until people started asking about it in here. So maybe there's just some SCP Foundation Ultrakill crossover. It runs on blood, so don't give it blood. I'll make it fight non-blood-based robots. That way it can't heal. That'll do the job. Building block. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Yoo-hoo on your way past the commissary. I think I got a good grasp on Safe, Euclid, Keter, and Thaumiel, but can you explain the other classes like Archon, Apollyon, or Ticonderoga? So, the first set you got there, those are what we like to call the box containment object classes. Safe, you put it in a box, you don't have to worry about it, it'll stay there. Euclid, if you put it in a box, it might escape. You got to keep an eye on it. Keter, it will not stay in the box. You got to work hard to keep it in the box. Thaumiel, it keeps other things in the box for you. So that's our box test. Those are the simple ones. Now, Apollyon almost universally means two things. It means A, uncontainable, and it means B, end of the world bullshit. When day breaks, I believe, is the first Apollyon. And that is just, it's the end of the world. It's uncontainable. 99% of humans are dead. So, Apollyon. Then we have its spiritual successor, at least in my eyes, SCP-8654, I think? Or 8564. Acrophobia. SCP-Acrophobia. 8654, I was right. Go me. And that's the very similar Apollyon class, End of the World, where we lost 90% of humans immediately because gravity inverted and everyone who was outdoors just up into space. So, doesn't sound like a good time. But yes, Apollyon basically means end of the world and uncontainable. Archon means that we can contain it, but we shouldn't. For example, if I'm looking at not the whole of the movie, but just the band Huntrix from the film K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm currently spitballing whether the band Huntrix is Thaumiel, because they create a force field that keeps demons out of the world, so they're containing demons. That seems Thaumiel. But Thaumiel is usually something we do, and they're independent of us. They're not Foundation. So that, to me, says they could be Archon, because what happens is we could contain them. We could put them in a box very easily. But then the demons will escape, i.e. something bad happens if we contain it, so we have to let it loose. Another Archon anomaly, although Archon wasn't existing at the time, No. I gotta find the right old man on a mountaintop. It's the one with the Russian hat. Which one's the old man with the Russian hat? The one who won a game with death. If you play a game with death, don't win. I think, Senior Researcher Frogman, you're right about it being 1440. Yes, there we go. So the man from nowhere, SCP-1440, is Keter in the database. But that's also because it was posted in 2012, very early in the SCP Wiki's history. I think if it were posted today, it would be Archon class instead, because Keter just means very, very hard to contain. But Archon, in this case, 1440, wherever 1440 is, bad things happen. And so when we do contain 1440, we have containment breaches and the sites blow up. So we can't contain 1440 or else we lose our containment sites. So we just have to let it wander. To me, that's Archon. But, you know, it's an old article and it can stay in its classic status. So that's Archon. And Ticonderoga is both, we can't contain it at all, and we shouldn't. So we could, for instance, lock 1440 in a box. We could, for instance, lock Huntrix in a box. But bad things will happen, so we have to let them free. Ticonderoga means not only should we not contain it, but also we can't anyway, so what are we even doing here? That's the differential there. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Base, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a Slim Jim on your way past the commissary. Question, how do you deal with living snowmen? Well, are they ambulatory, like in the movie Jack Frost, the horror movie Jack Frost? Because then we know that we can essentially put them in a containment chamber, an insulated containment chamber, where the exterior of that containment chamber is above melting temperature, so that they would be unable to get out. That would be the first way to do it. Just a room with a room where the outer room is superheated. Then your living snowman is stuck. I mean, if the snowman can't move, it's easy enough to put in a box regardless. So I don't see any problems there. Shadow, Blue Team, and Deadshot, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Cursed Traveler, thank you for donating again. V1 has fought and beaten an angel before, although I don't think that changes much. I mean, that's a pretty big entity, but we've dealt with angels of various variety. We just talked about the Corn Angel. There's obviously, you could classify the Gate Guardian as an angel if you wanted to consider it that way. That's a matter of opinion, so to speak. But angels come up in SCP lore from time to time. It's not foreign to us as a containment threat. And so something teetering above that, there's still a weakness. There's still a way to lock V1 up. Especially if we don't feed it blood. If we use automated defenses, that makes things a lot simpler. Jack, thank you for, I think, your first donation to today's stream, because you're a different Jack than earlier. Thank you for your first donation. Grab yourself some calming jasmine tea on your way past the commissary. And how would the Wheel of Power from Hot Wheels World Race Acceleracers be classified, and how would it be contained, considering the drones would keep coming for you guys to get their hands on it? Alright, I have no idea what the hell the Wheel of Power is. Wheel of Power Hot Wheels. I can't believe there's Hot Wheels lore. Man. The Wheel of Power is a powerful ball of energy with 3 gold-colored wheels that spin around it, capable of opening portals into the racing realms. Wheel of Power made its first appearance in World Race. 3 rings. So much power that it's too dangerous to channel for personal use. Blew every fuse in North America. Steals the Wheel of Power from Hot Wheels City to dominate the Earth. Yeah, that's how you dominate the Earth. A portal. A very energy-inefficient portal system, I guess. Dr. Tesla created a hologram that resonates the same frequencies as the actual Wheel of Power, allowing the racers to access the realms. You made a hologram that could open portals, and we're worried about the frickin'... That's already good enough. Jiminy sakes. That's already cooler anomalies than this wheel. So I don't see anything about these drones you're talking about. What I can say is that we already deal with an anomaly that summons followers to rescue it. That's SCP-2662, codename Cthulhu Fuck Off. Cthulhu Fuck Off is a Cthulhu-like entity that hides at the Foundation on purpose because its cultists are freaking weird, man. They just keep doing gross shit, and all Cthulhu wannabe guy over here wants to do is just live his life. Live its life, sorry. No, I'm not perfect either. But, you know, it's just a chill dude who wants to play video games, a chill Cthulhu dude. And so we have to constantly repel the cultists. It sounds pretty similar, actually. 2662 if you want to read Cthulhu Fuck Off. King as F, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Snickers on your way past the commissary. Hey, good looking. Who would win, 100 gorillas or SCP-682? No contest 682. I mean, gorillas, all they can do is pummel. 682 can adapt to pummeling. That's not even a fight. What are we doing here? Jonathan Peters, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a ice cream cone on your way past the commissary. Dr. Theron Sherman, I have found an anomaly called the Rusmerican. They are quintessential Russian or American depending on the observer. They are Russian and American, but it's Schrodinger's Russian-American, where they are either depending on the observer. So is it that if you're American, they're American, and if you're Russian, they're Russian? Or is it the opposite, where if I'm American, the entity's Russian, and if the observer is Russian, the entity's American? Either way, yeah, I would want to put that person in a box. It doesn't seem like they're too dangerous, but I would not want them roaming free, confusing people. Goldman, Barbara, and Cassie, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Bunny Lover, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a churro on your way past the commissary. Not trapped in SCP-999 cult. Child has a gun to my head. Well, I taught SCP-999 to use that sidearm to protect it from people who were trying to harm it. So are you and your little cult trying to harm it? Because then that is an authorized use of force from SCP-999, authorized by the Site Director of Site 42, yours truly. Step carefully here. Farik, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a jellied donut on your way past the commissary. We got a substitute biology teacher that really loves old-time cosplay, even wears a plague doctor outfit. We got several animal bodies instead of frogs, though. I think someone is dissecting a lion. Yes, this does sound a little sketch. I'm going to have some observers on hand to figure out if we have to intervene with this one. Three C's, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Dole Whip on your way past the commissary. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Have you ever heard of worm parahumans? The series is pretty underrated. And follow-up question, would you be able to contain them? Worm parahumans? Off the top of my head, no. Although if you're talking about the gaming series Worm Armageddon, that I would know something. But no, this is a novel of sorts. Parahumans, also called the Wormverse, is a name used to refer to a continuity of stories including Worm, Glowworm, Ward, and various other short stories. Individuals who possess powers in Worm are referred to formally as parahumans, and informally as capes, a term referencing the general habit of parahumans. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Yes, to establish an alter ego and go out in costume with or without literal capes. In order to acquire a power in Worm, one must suffer a trigger event, a moment of severe physical or psychological trauma. Properties of the power are influenced by the nature of the threat the individual faces and the individual's thought processes at the time. Some parahumans, when placed under extreme stress reminiscent of that of their initial trigger, may trigger a second time, expanding and refining their powers to increase their odds of survival. So great, a world where everybody gets superpowers if they're just in the right scenario. Hate that for me. So that's falling into the My Hero Academia problem with worldwide quirkification, where you get enough quirked up white boys and quirked up non-white boys as well, and quirked up white girls and quirked up non-white girls. You get what I'm going with here. It's that if you have that many quirked up folk, then that becomes the new normal, and the Foundation doesn't have to do anything because we just have to kind of change that life is now not what it should have been the way we wanted it. Now, if there was like the first quirked up person, the first parahuman, yeah, we would lock them the hell up. But as soon as it became normalized and people were doing it all the time, then we just have to like sit back and handle the anomalies people don't actually know about. Bunny Lover, thank you for donating again. No, I do not harm, just give it candy bracelets help. If you did not harm 999, it would not hold a gun on you. So I'm going to have to press X to doubt this situation. 999 is not so flippant as that. 3 C's, you're saying it's 1 in every 5 people has a quirk? Or, sorry, is a parahuman in Worm? That's too many superheroes. It's too many capes. Hi, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Jonathan Peters, thank you for donating again. They are the opposite. So Russian for Americans and Americans for Russians. Okay, they're still going in a box, but thank you for the clarification. Base, thank you for donating again. Have you tried asking SCP-343 to make the tree scream? Anytime we ask 343 for anything, it gives us non-answers. It says, oh, well, I can't do that. Otherwise, I'll just be coddling you children. You have to learn to walk on your own 2 feet. Blah, 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 blah. You know, 343 actually laughed in my face when I asked it to make the tree scream. When I asked it, hey, can you make SCP-4521 scream? Just chortled out of its old man face. I would have slapped it. Reese, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a plate of chicken wings on your way past the commissary. If all SCPs are its, why does the gender switching stone work on SCP-049? It is a class. So when I say all anomalies are its, I'm not saying all anomalies are strictly genderless in a biological sense or in a socio sense. What I'm saying is that we, Foundation staff, do not recognize them as humans. Because then you're going to empathize with them, you're going to maybe want to free them from their eternal containment / prison, and that's just not good business. So, yes, we treat them as non-humans, therefore they don't have a gender, they are its, they are objects. That's I'm not talking about any sort of biological or sociological factor of gender here. I'm talking about cold, hard containment ethics. Bunny Lover, thank you for donating again. Inject self with true serum. I did not harm him. It's an it. I did not harm him. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Is Jason Voorhees an SCP? Well, it is anomalous, but it's not an SCP because it's not on the SCP database written as an SCP article. It is anomalous AF, though. Except that one SCP that is allowed to have she, her pronouns that has nothing to do with her father being an extremely dangerous and problematic director. The last person I saw do that, its pronoun use on SCP-166 did not have a good time when Clef found out. Yeah. Stella, Puff the Magic Dwagon, and Jessica, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I'm looking at the timer. We are already over the time I said, so I'm calling this a 5-minute warning. We are 5 minutes from the end of stream, so I can go get some shut-eye after this travel term. I saw your video on the hive mind with 096, so theoretically if you introduced a harmless but self-replicating hive mind to 096 that replicated fast enough, could it contain 096 as 096 will try forever? So 096 will chase people that see its face, but it's not very strict about order. There are times when it uses convenience of closeness, proximity as well. So it would not be the perfect containment procedure because also we'd have to fill a space with that many of a self-replicating thing. And if 096 is right on top of them, then it's not going to be able to replicate faster than 096 and shred them. 096 can shred with the best of them. So, an interesting hypothetical, but I don't think the resources or the containment space are available for such an endeavor. How long is your usual shift? Mr. Nugget, great question. Normally, a coffee break with Dr. Sherman is anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half, and an office hours with Dr. Sherman is from 1.5 hours to 3 hours. Typically, I like to stick with the 3-hour shifts, but since we've been traveling, I've been doing more like 30 minutes to 45 minutes per day because you never know where you're going to be able to tuck yourself in a corner and stream without interrupting things around you and revealing the anomalous to the people. So we got to be careful with that. Where should I begin learning about the SCP Foundation? Gaseous Massicus, I think that's what your name is. Yes, Gassicus Massicus. To learn about the SCP Foundation, you want to treat it similar to comic books, because comic books are also a very vast medium that's been around a long time. There's a lot of stories. There's too much. You'll never read all the comics there are. You'll never read all the SCPs there are. So what you do, A, is you just read some articles that you know, and if they have a link to another article, follow that one. Wiki walking is a well-loved way to interact with the SCP Wiki. Secondly, if you have friends in the SCP community, if you guys have similar taste in art, get reading recommendations from them because they probably know some cool SCPs you can check out. Third, content creators. We're here. I'm spinning yarns, random SCPs brought up to me. Sometimes I haven't even read them. And so I'm finding out and you're finding out in real time. You do a lot of you do a little bit of all these. Find your way into the SCP Foundation Discord servers if you are old enough to join them. And that's another great way to see what the current crop is like, what the memes are about. Following memes and then reading the actual articles makes the memes funnier. What did you tell the library you streamed from to use their conference room? Oh, Amber, that was actually quite easy. That library in particular does not even need you to be a member of the library with a library card. They just have open conference rooms, and I walked in and said, hey, do you have an open room? And they're like, yes, here's a 2-hour slot. No cost, have fun. And so that was easy. Libraries are great. Libraries have a lot of resources you don't expect. Check out your local library, see what they got. You can usually rent movies for free and stuff like that. It's good stuff. Josh, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a muffin on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Dragon Sherman. I'm not Dragon Sherman. Unless you're counting the blue hair, that's just hair dye. It's not scales. I am a normal, non-anomalous human being. Just a normal, run-of-the-mill site director with a normal, run-of-the-mill pen. Completely non-anomalous. Do you think the SCP Foundation could contain a Saiyan? Well, first of all, if I could just give them a sort of virus that attacks the heart, I hear that puts down pretty strong Saiyans easily. So that's a good starting point. Secondly, yes, we're going to be in the same situation as when we deal with Viltrumites and other anomalies like that, where you need to immobilize them, maybe put them in a medically induced coma of some sort because their power level BS does make containment rather difficult. Cosmic Flash, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some venison on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, do you think trying to put the tree in SCP-916 is a good idea for a test? Well, first I would need to know what SCP-916 is. I'm not familiar with that article designation. SCP-916 is an adult male golden retriever. Excuse me? How? Why would you do that? Why would you put the tree in the dog? 914, my bad. Yeah, you're bad. Jeez. Poor SCP-916. What is 916? After several seconds of lying next to you, 916 will completely suppress any pain felt by individuals in contact with it. So when the doggo lies up against you, you no longer feel pain. Well, that's nice. But after 3 minutes, it will talk to you and try to make you commit suicide. That's a weird fucking dog, man. All right, SCP-916, you can go research that one later. Jeez. And putting it in 914, I don't want the tree to get better, and I don't want the tree to get worse. I want the tree to scream. Also, you can't fit a tree in 914. It's too big. It's a tree. 914 is just a testing chamber with a little booth, like a phone booth you can put stuff in. You can't fit a tree in there. Thank you for the heads up. Where'd your name go? Someone just told me that time's up, and they are correct. Yes, and so I'm getting the last questions in now. And the last question is not a question, it's just game time. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself some pixie sticks on your way past the commissary. Damn right, Project Unfarmed. Also, organic testing is banned. All right, so today, that is the end of our stream. I'm glad that in the second half, the sound worked. That was good. And so, intern Nikki, thank you for the time check. And so with that, I am looking forward to getting a good night's sleep, coming back bright eye and bushy tail tomorrow. And just so you know, I'm a non-anomalous human. That is a saying. I do not have a bushy tail. I am a normal human. Silly Fool, Tamia, Teddy Bear, Songbird, all of you, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. But of course, at the end of every stream, as is tradition, I will tell you my favorite SCPs. Now, these aren't the SCPs I wrote. That would be cheating. But if you did want to read my SCPs, you could go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP Wiki, and you can go see my articles, whether I wrote them or whether I contributed voiceover or sound effects to them. And while you're there, you'll find some support links on a separate tab there. And on that tab, you can become a Site 42 patron, donate to us monthly to help the editors and the moderators and all. You could become a YouTube channel member to do the same right here on YouTube. If you don't want to donate monthly, you can do a single donation through Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chats. Either one is fine. The Ko-Fi just, YouTube doesn't take 30% of that, so if you go the long way, your donation goes a little further, but YouTube Super Chat is still cool. On top of which, even if you can't afford to give us donation money, if you are here in the chat, if you are watching our videos, if you are commenting, then you are a valued member of Mobile Task Force Sci 42 codename the Signal Boosters. And you are a valuable aid in our mission to uphold the SCP Wiki's algorithmic tendencies so that we can get more SCP films, games, and more people in the community in general so that we get more art, because it's all about art. It's art! And so, thank you, Mobile Task Force Psi-42. Whether you are a broke gang commenter or a moneyed individual, your Dungeons and Dragons party has to have all types. You have your fighter, you gotta have your cleric, you gotta have your thief, and so everybody does their part, and that's why we succeed. Psi-42, I salute you. And now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980, but content warning on that last one, it's a rough read. Speed round, 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 8980, content warning on the last one. Ooh, that was a good speed run. All right. Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP community. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. This has been Dr. Theron Sherman signing off from another anomalous broadcast from Site-42, a coffee break with Dr. Sherman this time. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video and or stream. And Senior Researcher Frogman, thank you for your very last minute dono. I don't have any ancient blades on me, but I can check the database for you and get back to you. I'm sure we've got some lying around somewhere. All right. Nothing but the truth now. Nothing but the proof of what I am. The worst of what I came from. Patterns I'm ashamed of. Things that I don't even understand. I try to fix it. I tried to fight it. My head was twisted. My heart divided, my lies all collided. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side. I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back. But now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. Why did I cover up the colors stuck inside my head? I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath, I'll find your harmony. The song we couldn't write, this is what it sounds like. The credit song of the day is What It Sounds Like from the 2025 film K-Pop Demon Hunters. Why did I turn a K-Pop Demon Hunters song into a blues song? Because I have a very low vocal range compared to those wonderful singers. I cannot sing that high, that's why.